Oh boy, I love watching Persona 4 Golden without taking damage. I wonder what's going on in his community tab. Oh, he shared my run. Thank all of you guys who watched the first video. Like, it's really crazy how quickly it blew up. Like, and just being able to, like, do this for so many people because I spent so much of the run doing it for, like, I don't know, maybe like 20 people at most. So the fact that now there's, like, thousands of people that are willing to watch it gives me so much motivation to make more content. And yes, I know I'm not done with the no damage run, but it will be soon. And obviously when it's fully done, I have way more plans coming. So hey, I mean, subscribe, do whatever, if you want to see more of that. I'll tell you now, the next run I do is going to definitely be on Persona 4 Golden. So if you're interested in that, it's going to be a challenge that hasn't been done before. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and we'll get on into the real content right now. And on the first day, July 2nd, we have a Tartarus run. So an interesting thing about this Tartarus run is despite having a maximum stat Mothman, it actually doesn't help me for bosses as much as you would think. Now yes, a lot of my strategies are going to revolve around it, but I can only do so much with one Mothman, and it really shows in this battle, where I only have fire and ice, and this enemy is weak to electric. But thankfully, since we're really low in the dungeons, I ended up just being able to Mizuo and then use Miragi, and it killed them all because of the downed damage bonus. Next on up is the boss Intrepid Knight. Now, for this boss, I decided the easiest strategy was just to pray for one dodge and then hit him twice to kill him, since I did more than enough damage to easily have that strategy work. And since that was such a no-brainer strategy, it really shows you how much the 99 agility in the run matters, because sometimes it's best to just rely on one dodge rather than fusing an entirely new skill set or getting a bunch of skill cards when I could just reset for a single dodge that is more than likely to happen thanks to my 99 agility. And right about here is where you can see my just absolutely insane mindset kick in, because I am like over leveled, I have an amazing persona, and yet I still ended up wasting like 20 minutes just grinding to prepare for even more stuff, even though I absolutely didn't need it at all. If you're at this point in this run or whatever, just move on. Like, there's nothing of struggle coming up anytime soon to be worth the pain that I decided to force onto myself for literally no reason. Next on up is the new moon event. Now, there's something I kind of failed to mention in the last run, but every single new moon event forces you to have a whole party, which for me is kind of bad at this point, because I've spent so much time and investment and just grinding into FemC that my entire party is underleveled besides the members that were just added recently. And because of this, that actually makes a lot of these boss fights a lot harder, because I have to rely on items to prevent my party members from taking damage, or even so that they can even do anything, because most of them don't even have that great of skills. And it's very prevalent in this boss fight, where I likely would have just been better off with just FemC, but of course, you are forced to use your party members. And now we get to the boss. You see, FemC doesn't actually do that much damage with Bufula. I ended up finding out that you can get up to 1200 to 1300 all-out attack damage, and since FemC's luck is also at 99, I end up going with a strategy where I just bank on getting a crit and all-out attack, and it does require a bit of RNG and a lot of resets, because I'm not sure why this enemy just didn't like getting crit, and it ended up being Akihiko that dealt the crit, and then we swiftly dealt with him. Afterwards, Rizmaster Akihiko walks into the room completely naked, and honestly, it would have worked if the game had given me a sex button, but it didn't. After being successfully rizzed up by Akihiko, we have to break 3 different mirrors in order to start the second phase of the New Moon's boss fight. After returning to the room where the first boss fight happens, we come upon the second phase of this boss. Now, the second phase of this boss has less health than the first one for some reason, and I ended up literally just getting a crit instantly and just one-shotting it with an all attack. So, hey, I mean, compared to the struggle of the first phase, I think it was like 10 or so resets. This one being first try, awesome. Alright, and next on up, we have our Tartarus infiltration, starting with the Steel Gigas boss fight. Now, fortunate for us, we grinded Mothman up to get Megiddo, so what I just do is I Megiddo them all, and they take a full turn to set up, and I Megiddo again, and win. But the real interesting battle comes with the next boss, Fanatic Tower. You see, Fanatic Tower has 2000 HP, it has 0 weaknesses, it actually repels 3 different elements. Basically, it repels everything but wind, knows light, knows dark, and is strong against pierce and slash. So the only realistic ways you can damage it is with strike and wind. And it only uses electric attacks, but it has mind charge, has poison mist, elect break, and a default pierce attack. So overall, this boss is going to be very, very hard to take down because just the amount of versatility not only it has, but the versatility in its own coverage. Like, its defenses are just through the roof, which gives it even more opportunities to deal damage to us. After fighting the boss a couple times, it was starting to become obvious that solo FEMC wasn't working. I soon then tried to add Aegis in order to try to fight the boss with an extra party member so I can get all attacks, but we quickly realized that we ended up needing way more than that because we just needed a ton of crits, so we ended up coming back with a full party after losing the Aegis attempt. After getting a crit from FEMC, getting the all attack, which brings it just below half, we then dodged the poison all skill that it uses with the whole party, and they get another crit with FEMC to easily end this fight. After defeating the 2 bosses for this section, I go to the 3rd area in order to grind opals, because opals allows me to get growth 3 skill cards, which will allow me to catch up the level of some of the personas for some skills I'll end up needing later, and I also encounter this cool bug right here.
Why is the game playing it like... Oh. Alright, this is weird bug. Whenever I shoot my...
You can't defeat it, run.
Look at, hold on. Look at what happens when Reaper hits me.
The screen turned black.
After having schizophrenic images of Burn My Dread flash inside of my mind, which is such a weird bug, I don't know why that was happening at all. We buy growth 3 skill cards and we prepare for the new moon event. Starting on up with the full moon event, we have to fight a boss with 1500 health and we have to use a full party. Thankfully though, as you'll see soon, the battle was actually first try and wasn't even that much of a struggle at all.
I'm gonna be doing shit alone, god damn! Okay. Okay, I mean, I'm literally the only one here. What the fuck is this? This sucks. Also, I'm pretty sure the only 3D objects in the room is me, Morgana, and Bag, and the chair. I'm pretty sure the background's just completely just the drawing. $3,600. Oh, I got 2 points for proficiency? That's nice. And I got a rank up, let's fucking go! Alright, that's pretty cool. Do you believe in the Phantom Thieves? No.
Separate. And we win.
I'm honestly quite surprised we got all that RNG first try. Like, we had multiple misses. It poisoned the enemy. It poisoned me. It dizzied me. It essentially just did all the things that it needed to do for me to not take damage. And it was all first try, so that was really lucky here. And with the new moon boss completed, we now have 2 new ones to take out in Tartarus, starting with the magical Magus.
Was she also just chilling like that guy?
No, she was kind of like huddled in the fetal position.
That sucks for her. But you know what? She's safe.
Weak fire,
No.
drain ice, Eligar, Eligor's fire uses ice attack, so the next one's weak to fire. Can I just Reglio?
Probably.
Hold on, I'm just gonna try Mothmaning it real quick. Because if that works, that's what I usually just would do instead. Because I could just like... I don't know how they're Miragi. Knock them all down. Make the, there we go.
Next up is the Natural Dancer boss fight. Now this one is very similar to that one boss that only used Wind and Pierce earlier, except this time it has 1,700 health. So it isn't actually the hardest thing ever. I just kind of used a brain dead strategy of I'm going to mind charge with Dionysus and then I'm going to use Mothman's Bufula, and I just reset until it ended up working. And eventually I ended up getting the run with all the right dodges and we defeat the boss. After the Tartarus run, we ended up buying the max SP item, which increases your SP by 30%. Since right now we already have like all the skill cards we need, so none of the accessories that give skills to Femc are really that important. We also buy updated gear for all of our party members because, I mean, might as well, just in case we end up needing them for like the next new moon. The boss ends up being a total cakewalk. While it does drain electric, fortunate for us, it has 3,500 HP and all it does for 3 whole turns is charge, which means if I just keep attacking with my full party, I will do more than enough damage to end up just straight up killing it before it even has the opportunity to deal damage. So thanks to my Mothman being fully prepared for this fight, it was an absolute breeze. What's more interesting here is the Strega storyline, because we end up capturing one of the members, Chidori, as, well, she's not very much of a fighter, and the story ends up picking up with them from this point on, because before we just had encounters with them, but there wasn't very much story involving them until this moment onwards, which I will be explaining for the video. So, you know, spoilers for Persona 3 story. If you're here and you haven't played the game, what are you doing? And it's Tartarus time again. Now, we actually ended up doing a little bit of fusing at the beginning of this Tartarus run, which, I know, wild, because we are actually at the level 60 plus mark, which means we have 2 different options for personas with the highest possible single target damage elemental skills in the game. We can either fuse Cert or Odin. Now, I ended up going with Odin, not for any particular reason. I'm pretty sure, actually, no, my main reason was because he had Spellmaster over Cert, which doesn't have Spellmaster. And other than that, that was literally it. Just like, hey, do I want electric? Do I want fire? I was like, the Spellmaster will be useful, help for some grinding and boss fights. So I ended up picking Odin, and I fuse it with these skills right here. This Odin is very special because it's one of the 5 quote-unquote ultimate personas I'll end up fusing in the run. I have 5 planned out personas, all with, you know, their own unique sets of skills and abilities that you will end up going into later. Of course, the Mothman's the first one, and this Odin is the second one. After this Tartarus visit, I'll end up getting enough items to max out its magic, but for now, we just clear out the bosses. So I lost the part of the stream, like a little bit of the grinding that I did in one stream, and also me fighting these bosses. So first off, we have Arcane Turret. It's weak electric, it has 1,008 health. Obviously, I just, you know, showed it my big old, I don't even know what to call it. Well, I use Wild Thunder on Thor. No, it's not Thor, it's Odin. Wild Thunder Odin. Sleeping Table, I probably just Megadoed with Mothman. I mean, is there one of it? Or is there multiple? But regardless, it's not. Like, it has a 40 in agility, which is okay. So I'm pretty sure I actually struggled kind of hard with this boss fight based off my memory, but yet again, unfortunately, I don't have the video for it. But you know, here it is. I did it without damage. That's all I can say. I mean, there's no real reason for me to not do it without. You get it. Yeah. Okay. Next on up, I'm going to be showing some of the grinding I did with Onyxes in order to get max Odin. Alright, I know I'm talking about shopping again, but in this section, it is super important. You know, a little bit of a spoiler, but this next New Moon boss is about to be one of the most difficult I have ever faced in the whole run. Hold on, I gotta Google something real quick. Who invented the wheel? Man, fuck those people. This wheel is torturous. The fact that it has like, I think it's like a 9 in 10 chance to just deal damage to you. And like, I did the math and stuff. I just straight up couldn't do enough damage to get through this phase without, you know, taking damage. Or without having to at least spin the wheel. So I was basically forced to at least spin this wheel. So basically I was resetting for RNG that required me to, you know, spin the correct wheel. But the problem is that each time getting up to that took like 3 minutes. So this boss fight ended up taking almost over.
Okay.
Finish it up.
Army that Sammy has been defeated. The void that swallows all. Okay. The beast indeed. Okay. Wheel of Fortune.
Is that a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reference?
No. Wait, almost. Oh god.
Be careful.
I forgot it's Shadow Teddy.
Alright, and here's the RNG. Shinra and Ken have encounter with Strega while arguing about him killing Ken's mother during a Dark Hour event, and Shinra proceeds to fail his no damage run, and my live reaction says a lot about how I felt about the situation here.
The hospital.
Yes. It's the dark hour.
No. Then
What do you mean the hospital? It's the Dark Hour. Summon your persona. Use fucking Diorama. Recarm him.
Wait.
I forgot to change Mitsuru and Yukari's battle tactics, so Mitsuru accidentally ended up casting Marinkaran on him, and it actually worked, and Yukari ended up healing herself, so he died. Heading to Tartarus on October 31st, which by the way is the last day that I plan to be in this video, we fight the boss Hell Avenger. Hell Avenger is very easy, because if you mind charge, they mind charge, and then Megiddo one-shots them. You don't resist electric? You get the Odin. Boom. Well, I win. 99 agility for you. 10k XP, by the way. And he got the Odin. And with that done, that is the final boss, or anything I have to do for this whole Tartarus run, which means that is actually the end of part 2. Now, part 3 will be covering the entirety of the rest of the game, and make sure to subscribe if you want to see that. I'm also going to be doing other challenge runs in the future, and of course I will be streaming them on YouTube just because I don't like really streaming on Twitch. So hey, you'll be able to see that soon. I got this video edited much faster than I thought I would. Like, I was expecting for the whole editing process to take like, I don't know, maybe like a week or two, but it actually only ended up taking me like 3 days. So this video is coming out much earlier than it was expected to. Maybe even the next part, although I do have to record a little bit of the run. It's not entirely over, but it's very, very close. So expect part 3 to come out in about a week's time, you know, similar to the duration that it took to this, except this was obviously a lot shorter. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more of my content, or like and comment if you enjoyed, and well, peace out.